So today we are working on this car, and we are working on this car. We have help of Eddie from the Beaten Boys. I'm pretty sore today, so I'm pretty much just going to be the foreman and tell Eddie what to do and how to do it. Because in Orangeville last night, I wasn't really planning on doing anything today because I'm so sore, but Eddie showed up and said, stop playing Wreckfest, let's go outside and fix some of these pieces of crap. So here's the game plan for today. We're going to start on this car. So Eddie's already started. We're going to fix this trailing arm. We've just cut it past the bends. As you can see, the two little pieces are cut off on the ground. We're going to sleeve it with a little bit of 1/2 inch threaded rod welded up. Now I'm only going to bring the threaded rod about 1.5 inches, 2 inches in. So that way it's a repair, not a reinforcement. So that has to be done. And I'm probably going to take the sledgehammer or get Eddie to swing the sledgehammer and pound all this in. Maybe cut some of this away for clearance. Now on this side, the tire's cocked over pretty damn hard. We're going to cut away for clearance, and then we're gonna space it out back here. I've already spaced it once, as you can see with the washers, but we're gonna have to build bigger spacers and get them welded in. I'm gonna take this pry bar out of here because it doesn't need to be there, and it's just dangerous, and I'm gonna forget about it. So that's our game plan for this, and then we're gonna go over the front end, maybe cut off the bumper, get ready for a new bumper, because the frame rails are kind of bending a little weird. So we're going to put a new bumper on it, fix the frame rails up, and get this ready for another show. Now for this car, this car here is not going to be as much work, but it's going to be heavier parts. So in the front, this side's fine. We need to trim a little bit of sheet metal away from this tire. This frame rail is going to be pushed into that tire pretty soon, so I want to take a come along from here to there and just try to pull that frame rail away from the tire. Back end, I still don't like it that you can see my gas tank through the back end, but I don't think I'm going to fix it because I'm pretty sore. Maybe this car's going to be ran in 2 weeks, so maybe in a week or so, when 4 days when I'm feeling better. Again, we're just going to cut some body steel away from tire. But over here is where all the heavy lifting is going to come in. We're going to replace the whole spindle with a new bottom ball joint, take this out. I think we're going to have to replace this brake line because it does not look happy. And tie rod's been cocked over pretty hard, so we're going to replace that with a new tie rod end, and hopefully everything's going to be good. Frame on this, like I said, is starting to go pretty bad, but there's not much I can do to it. But that's my game plan for today, and I got to put one bolt back in the motor mount. And I got to bend that tab so my throttle doesn't stick wide open again. So that's my plan. So let's get going on this. We got quite a bit of cars to repair. So for these two here I got to repair, and then there's one more in the shop that's got to be fixed for next weekend. And that one is in here. So this one right here, as it sits right now, just needs tire clearance in the rear and a new bumper put on. And then after that, this one has to be built for 2 weeks, and it's not even close. So, yeah, there's a bit of work to be done here, and I shouldn't be playing Wreckfest, but I just don't feel like doing anything today. But anyway, let's get doing these cars. We're going to start with the ones outside, and then work our way into these pieces of junk. So we've done a whole lot of work to this. Eddie, he's being a little baby right now, but he's done quite a bit of work. He's swung the sledgehammer for me pretty much all day here. We've got tire clearances. We've got different tires on the back. Yeah, different tires on the back. We have the steel strut spaced out a bit more. We got the trunk lid hammered down. This thing is actually looking half decent now. I got it so I can see out the back. We still have to address the front bumper, but as it sits right now, this car can drive around and basically do everything it can to be a car now. So I can fix this at a later date when I figure out where it's going to go. But no, it's definitely looking good. It's driving good now. We fixed the trailing arm, so I'm overly pleased with it actually. Hopefully this back end does not come right back up in one hit, because then I can't see it again. But we're going to continue trying to drive this car backwards. This will be the first time I've actually driven the Camry backwards this much. And it's been a little different for me. But now we're going to switch attentions to this car on the trailer. And I'll show you what we have to fix on this. So what we got to do onto this is fix that issue. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a 17, pull the brake caliper off. Well, actually, first thing we're going to do is take the tire off, then pull the brake caliper off. We're going to pull the disc off. We're going to change out the spindle. We're probably going to change the end of the tie rod because I don't think that ball is going to do very good. We're going to get 17 mil, change out the bottom ball joint because that ripped right out of there. I've never actually had that happen before. We're going to get 22 mil and change out the top of these spindles. And hopefully this brake line's okay. You know what? It looked a little wet over here last night, but there's not a hole. Oh, there is. You see the brake line coming out of it right there? So we did break a brake line on this, which is kind of crappy. Probably just going to crimp it off and keep going. Only have brakes to one front tire probably. But let's get going on this. A whole lot of work has to be done. So let's get 21, 22, 17, 14 and get going. We have done a lot of work to this car today, and that car, but we're focusing on this one. We've got the rear frame rail pulled over so that we are not in the way of the tire anymore, and we've kind of pulled it past where it was, so it won't want to go back out there unless I take a weird shot. Still see the gas tank. Not overly pleased about that still. We got some clearance made around this, but take a look at this. We got this tire back on. New spindle, new blower ball joint, new tie rod, new axle. Brakes are not new. They're just crimped off. But everything's put back in. But the only piece we did not change was lower control arm and strut. So, it should be good. Alright, Eddie, start her up.
Put on brake.
I guess the brakes aren't the best anymore. That's okay. Once the tires get dinked over, I'll have no brakes at all, and I'm okay with that. We're trying to get it in the shed. Let's see if we can do it. Well, Eddie, how was that?
Hard. You got half brakes, but no brakes at all, almost.
So half brakes, but no brakes.
2 foot, well, and
that's good enough for me.
Oh, it's melting the cup.
That's okay. That's good enough for me. Let's go move on to the next car. Half brakes of no brakes is good enough for me.
She's fixed for the next one.
Yep. Let's move on to the next car.
One more.
So we chose the world's crappiest bumper for this. A 1989 Sundance bumper. And the reason for that is I don't care about this car. I had to cut off my loaded bumper to go to this show that we're going to, so just cut it off. Had to cut the bumper into about 10 different pieces to get it off, and we're just putting on this Sundance bumper just to meet the rules, and we're gonna go have fun. But realistically, the wife wants to figure eight this thing. It's not gonna figure eight very well because it's got a full posi transmission. The motor is into the firewall, and there is zero suspension in the back of it because of how bent everything is. And there's no brakes in the back, and there's pretty much no brakes in the front too, but listen, I can't tell my wife anything, but she wants to do it, so she can do it. The real nice part of this is the gray area shifter. Oh, and there is no head gasket in this actually too. I forgot about that. So you can't even put water in it. But anyway, so that's this car. We got the bumper on. We're just putting some more welds onto it. Eddie's putting welds onto it. I'm just taking it easy today. We got this one turned around, but it started raining. So I kind of came inside. The rain looks like it's going away. So now what we got to do this is we got to cut this bumper off and we got to put a different bumper on. Because this frame is still good. I just got to make it so it will pass rules that I can take it to later on. But I also want a good bumper. I can't put tubing on this. This is still a very stock car. Very stock. I just have to fix the frame because it's going down. But frame's still straight. The back end, we got it so it's a little bit better. But it's still not the best. So this thing's probably got one more run in it. And I don't think I'll be able to drive backwards anymore. But we'll cut off the front of this car and we will keep going at it. You know, if we get 3 cars done today, I'll be extremely happy. And I'm pretty sore today, so I'm making Eddie do everything.
Hi guys.
So let's get this one starting to cut apart while he finishes welding that one up.
Make sure to subscribe to me too.
Yes, Beaten Boys Racing. He swears a lot though.
Huh?
Well, I was getting somewhere, but a buddy came over and I got distracted. We went inside, the wife cooked us a nice shepherd's pie, and we played Wreckfest. So, as it leaves for the day, I've got this bumper cut off because it broke. Just got to clean it all up. Maybe straighten it up. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe put a little bit extra plate to help hold this thing on. To fix the front of this car. This one here, I got jacked up, ready to put the bumper on, but then a buddy showed up, a different buddy, Steven Sanders. And then I got this bumper on. Oh, I just dented it by doing that. I shouldn't have kicked that so hard. Oh. My God, my wife makes good shepherd's pie. Look at this belly. That's all shepherd's pie. So, I'm excited for tonight. I'm just going to go inside and watch some TV now. Maybe some Red Green. Maybe some River Monsters, not sure. But I'll come back out here tomorrow night and keep working on these things. Get this one done. This one is done. Get this one done. And like I said, I'm not sure where this one's going to be ran, but it's going to be ready to be ran, that's for sure. I just got to close down the shop and call it a night. So thanks everybody for watching. We did a lot of repair, did a lot of fixing, and we got a lot of cars ready for these weekends coming up because it is crunch time. I'm talking 2 to 3 derbies a weekend now. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.